same things. Carbon pools and eagle wings, golden sand and Saturn rings. We are what life brings. We are walking stardust, lightning flash around us, riding on the love bus. We are what life brings. We are all connected by the air we breathe in, by the love we're feeling. We are all connected by the air we breathe in, by the love we're feeling. From Uganda to Italy, branches of the same tree, dancing leaves floating downstream. This is how creation sings, here to be what we're meant to be. If one can see, we all can see, forming our reality. This is how creation sings. This is how creation sings. Connected, connected, connected. We are all connected by the air we breathe in, by the love we're feeling. We are all connected by the air we breathe in, by the love we're feeling. We are all connected by the air we breathe in, by the love we're feeling.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center. We are part of Unity Worldwide Ministries, and you can find us here locally at 350 North Orchard Avenue in Vacaville, California. Let's begin today's service with a prayer from Reverend Dahlia Adams.
Let us pray. Let us open our minds and hearts to this precious moment, this new beginning of 2021. We are grateful for the joy. We are grateful for the enthusiasm that leads us forward. We are grateful for the strength and wisdom that guides us through every challenge and every joy. We are grateful for each other, for the love that keeps us together, and for the many, many blessings this new year is bringing. For all of this now, we say thank you. Thank you, God. Amen.
My name is Gary Eisenberg, and it is an honor and a privilege and pleasure to be your service assistant today. One of my favorite parts of the service is recognizing the beautiful people that I live with and blessing them. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. If you're watching the service by yourself, I invite you to picture those beloved people in your life as we bless them with, together, you are a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. You are loved unconditionally just the way you are. And if it is true for them, it must be true for ourselves as well. And so we say together, I am a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. I am loved unconditionally, just the way I am. And so it is. In our congregation, we are so blessed to have fellow members serving as prayer chaplains. We are going through challenging times, and if world affairs are getting you down, or if you happen to be having a health challenge or a loved one is going through a challenging time, I suggest that you contact our prayer chaplains at unityvv@pacbell.net to pray with you. You and your loved one will be so uplifted. Again, prayer chaplains at unityvv@pacbell.net. Prayer chaplains, I know that you're watching, and you do bless us with your presence. Thank you so much. It is time for announcements. As we begin the year of 2021, we still are physically distant, but we are so spiritually close. And what a pleasure it is to see after every service your beautiful faces. So why don't you make it a resolution this year to send in a photo of you and your family or a video that we could put at the end of service, and we would be so delighted to see you. Thank you. The next announcement has to do with our guest speaker today. Today, Reverend Martha Creek will be speaking. She is widely known in New Thought. Martha's training approach of deep inner work is an adventure with a sense of curiosity and wonder. She is a master of the art of right questioning. She calls forth the most stubborn and self-defeating patterns that we all have to create for all of us a new way of being, literally. So we are delighted to have Reverend Martha Creek with us today. Now, I would like to honor you, our beloved community, as we start the new year of 2021. We wouldn't be here without you. So we thank you so much for your generous tithes and donations to Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center. Thanks again. As we center into the service today, we will state the statement of faith together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good. And so it is. Amen.
Frost sparkles on the ground, crystals shiny with dew. Seeing things for the first time, I lift my eyes, I see you with new eyes. Rain saturates the ground. I'm filled with joy when I'm with you. Being for the first time feels so good to be alive. To imagine letting go of the together in a new world, chasing and embracing. Vision is clear. Seeds sprouting from the ground, a new world emerging around us. There is love to guide us. My vision is clear. My vision is clear. New eyes. My vision is clear. New
It's Martha Creek. I'm delighted to be here with you today. MarthaCreek.com to get in touch with me directly. There's all sorts of free videos there and free podcast and a newsletter and all that. And I lift you up, and this is our new in-person. So virtual hugs to you, virtual blessings, prayers as we open at the top of our mind, as we've been taught to do in New Thought. Take a big deep breath in through the heart, exhale out through the crown, and open at the top. So we launch in here absolutely committed and delighted and determined to live beyond our limitations. Is it true? Are you willing to live beyond your limitations? Me too. And I believe that sets us apart, New Thought, that sets us apart in New Thought, that we not only are willing to do that, but we are doing that we are got practices in place to make sure that we continue to live beyond our limitations. And I give great gratitude today for all the New Thought leaders that came before us in every single vein of religious science and all its iterations, and CSL and its iterations, and Unity and its iterations, and headquarters and worldwide ministries and divine science and federations and liberations and Association for Global New Thought bows to them, affiliated New Thought Network, Anton bows to them, all the New Thought leaders, and over 100 years of somebody with a different idea and a belief that this causative, generative use of our mind was actual, factual, true, and available to us. So in that vein, I'll launch in here then too with this, a legacy of transformation, which is the topic of the day. So in New Thought as a legacy, standing on the shoulders of those giants, and then a legacy of transformation and how I have lived this in my life. And I've been attuned to New Thought since I was a kid without even knowing what New Thought is. I just knew that the other religions, things that I tested and tried and tasted and all that, were not in alignment with me, and I didn't know what would be, but I knew that that wasn't. And I didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I can even bow to those, the legacies of those other religions. Although I grew up in a non-churched family, I wanted to go to church. I told my mother I want to go to church as a little girl, and she, in her pioneer spirit way, I love her very much, and she said, if you want to go to church, then find you a way to go to church. So I did. So I started calling the neighbors and asking them where to go to church, and they were delighted, of course, to come and pick me up and get me to church with them. And some of the churches right away didn't suit me. I got kind of creepy feelings from some of the people there, and later found out that some of the men were in some trouble molesting their own children. So I knew early on to test and to trust my own intuition about matters. So I kept looking and ended up in a Methodist church that I love very much. And even though I didn't believe all the teaching and the preaching and all that, I very much loved the experience. I loved my Sunday school teacher. Her name was Clio. And I loved that I got to read and think and contemplate, and she would assign me readings and things, and I was so into that. So I stand on the shoulders of many of the great legacy of many people, not just New Thought, but otherwise. And it transformed me, and my ability, even as a child, to be in touch with what I was convicted in, and what somebody else's philosophies were, what somebody else's teachings were fine, and they weren't mine. So I had some differentiation even as a child to know what was truer for me than not, and to not throw the baby out with the bathwater, to stay open, to learn from them, and to gain insights, perspectives, to grow myself and to grow myself up also. So I bow to all the teachings and all the teachers. So it either taught us how to do it or it taught us how not to do it. So for the legacy of transformation, the first quote that I looked at in preparation for this is from Ernest Holmes. That was very meaningful to me. And it is this: if by creation we mean making something out of nothing, there's no such thing. If by creation we mean making something out of nothing, there is no such thing. However, if we mean the passing of spirit into form, then creation is eternally going on. If we mean the passing of spirit into form, then creation is eternally going on. Now that has been a defining moment for me, that I could not, and do not get into this woo-woo, making something out of nothing kind of philosophy. And I did not believe that these teachers meant that. So when I find something like this, it becomes yes, here's what they actually said, and here's what they actually mean. So think about the shift then that would make in you, a transformation in you, if we will, that we're transforming here today again, and being a legacy of transformation for those people that come later than us, that will be listening to this talk around the world, that will be listening to and involving with an International New Thought Congress years and years to come. That how can we be transformed today, renewing our mind to transform our mind, renewing our mind to transform our heart, and that what the implications of this is then for you. The passing of spirit into form, eternally going on, life on its terms. And to the degree that I align with that, accept what I cannot change, willing and ready and determined to change what I can, and wise indeed to know the difference. From Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, there is in man, so gender specific, so see if you can work around that. There is within us that which, when opened, there is within you that which, when opened, there is within me that which, when opened, will place you, when it's open, that within you, that when open, will place you in direct contact with universal knowledge. That within me, when opened, will place me in direct contact with universal knowledge. This will enable you instantly and continuously to draw forth anything that you wish to know. Anything then is possible from that place, and not the creating something out of nothing. Like, no, I cannot stop a hurricane that I know of, but if I can stop it, I'm going to. So I'm going to see it differently. I'm going to pray for it differently. I'm going to pray with it. I'm going to work with it. I'm going to accept what I can. So that place then within us, when opened, has direct universal knowledge, and that we are then enabled to instantly and continuously to draw forth from that, to live from the higher room, from the throne room, from the upper part of our mind. So what's the consequences when we don't do that? What legacy are we leaving? You know, I say sometimes, here lies Martha. She had issues. Or here lies Martha. She had ideas. Here lies Martha. She could complain. Or here lies Martha. She made contributions. Here lies Martha. She had dramas. Or here lies Martha. She had dreams and determination to go toward them. What is your legacy? Which legacy do you prefer? One is a legacy of transformation. One is a legacy of inertia, the old, worn out, 2,000-year-old archaic way of being since recorded history that's much more instinctual, animalistic, carnal. So as we've been taught by every single master teacher in all faith traditions, to overcome those lower tendencies, to overcome the animal instincts, to grow ourselves up a bit, and to spiritually enlighten, to spiritually awaken, to spiritually become aware. So this is from an excerpt that I read and studied and from Ernest Holmes. It says, let's put a sign over the doorway of our establishment right here and right now and for the coming year. And it says, the sign says God and Company. And let's see to it that we don't take that sign down. Let's make sure that a sign goes above our establishment and goes above our door, and that we don't take that sign down. Then we can lift our eyes, draw on a strength, draw on a stamina, a grit, an uncommon motivation, will, zeal, enthusiasm, imagination, faith, power, love, letting go, renunciation, love, understanding, heaven on earth, and that the help is coming, the help is there, not hiding from us, always available, expressing itself, expressing as us, through us, for us, to us, with us, that then we devote and lift up our whole being, our whole thought to that inflow of the divine, that inflow of wisdom, of strength. And I believe then that every day, today, tomorrow, and every day, that I'm in partnership, silent and spoken partnership with Creator, with God, with life, with universe, whatever terms you give to that. And I believe then that this spirit that goes before me, expressing as me, prepares the way. See if you're even willing to believe that this spirit expressing in me is transforming me, that I'm transformed by it, goes before me to prepare the way. I believe that every door, every way then that is mine is open. And if the door is not open, it is not my door. So I cannot sensibly stand and pound my head against a door trying to open it and wonder why my head's bleeding. But to say, if it's not opening, it's not mine, then which one is mine? Where is mine? So then present to, awake to, aware of new opportunities presenting themselves, new ideas coming into mind, how to be this, always equipping and equipped, prepared to meet all situations, to meet new situations, to meet the whole year, and to meet it friendlier, to meet it more willing, to meet it more accepting, more surrendered, and to live then from a sense of anticipation that I'm receiving this, I'm contributing to this, I'm co-creating with this, the basis of our teachings. God is. I am. I am that I am. I think that way. I think that way. In context, God is, I am. I pray that way. I live that way. So then I can more happily and gladly share, to give, to serve, to bring forth, to express. As I have been impressed by Spirit, I've been imprinted and impressed by the divine, then my role then is to express from that imprint, to express from that impression, so that divine intelligence flows through me. That divine intelligence and causes me to think and act in a way that will cause, generate, bring forth good, change my experience, change the way I relate to things, change the framework in which I see things, to change and offer new perspective with me, with everything, every situation, and everybody that I deal with. So my business is the business of living this. So God is, I am, I think that way, I pray that way, and I live that way. So the business of my living is also God's business. God's business is always unfolding, always in success, whether I call it that or not. Always in success. That I'm partnering with, co-creating with that presence, the presence that is, that all that there is, and from that only one mind that is, then I live more aligned, more toned, in the infinite presence of that, as eternal, as infinite, and yes, as a good, and not like the good and bad good, but in the absolute good of it. Big deep breath. Be activated and reactivated, and may this message be vitalizing to you, revitalizing to you, rejuvenating, and shaking something loose, as it has again in me today, and will again in me for every time I stop to look. So to be inspired, and that's the legacy, one of the legacies I want to leave and to be, is that that inspiration, that of being in spirit, that I lived in spirit, aware of spirit, aligned with spirit. And then through that I am inspiring of myself, and hopefully and faithfully something will inspire others in the same way too. I also want to leave a legacy of practical application of the teachings. A transformation of practical application, not a theoretical understanding, not I can quote and I know what they said and they did, but how have I applied this to my life? How have I put the teachings to application? How have I tested and tried with these teachings? And what's made the difference of that? What have I discovered in that? Emerson says, inspiration is the continuation of the divine effort that built us. Inspiration is the continuation of the divine effort that created us, that built us. What if it's true? And what if we got more intent today in our dedications to new thought and new thought teachings and principles to not only discover that, but to flesh that out and to uplift it. So that whenever you're involved in any project, any business, any dream, or whatever it may be, to come to the point of, after you've done everything you know to do, everything that came to you to do, everything's in place, and then to let it go, to let it be, not to cut loose from it, but to let it be, to allow it to be. So my job was to till the garden, get the soil ready, plant some seeds, water the seeds, and then what becomes of the seeds, God's business. So one may produce 20 tomatoes, one may not produce a tomato at all. One may grow 3 feet tall, one may be 2 feet tall, one may not be 1 feet tall. So what I cannot do something about, but the creative life force having its own way. Let the superconscious work for us. To use the superconscious, and then to take the work of our hands, breathe life into it, and then allow it to create as it's meant to create. One of my favorite teachers is Dr. David Hawkins, and he wrote many, many books: Power versus Force, The Eye of the I, Letting Go, The Pathway to Surrender, many more. So many of you are familiar with him, I think. And I've got many, many favorite authors. So just like I loved my teachers growing up, I'm a perpetual student. So I said every teacher was my favorite teacher in school. And now every book, every teacher in my last 30 years is my favorite teacher. So it depends on, of course, what I'm reading currently and what I'm studying and what I'm bringing forth, what I'm inspired to bring forth into expression into the world. And what I pulled from his teaching today is this: one is not really ruled by the mind. What the mind reveals is an endless stream of options. They're also disguised as memories, fantasies, fears, concepts, beliefs. So to get free of domination by the mind, it is necessary to realize that its parade of subjects is merely an arbitrary cafeteria of selections, wending their way across the screen of our mind. So one is not forced to feel anything through referencing a memory, a negative memory, nor does one have to buy into a fearful thought about a future. These are options. They're actually optional. So to transform my experience, I've got to be selective about which thoughts I'm going to run across the screen. What thoughts am I going to engage with? So if we see the mind like a television screen running its channels, all of its selections, our channel guides, and we do not have to follow any particular temptation to go onto one of those channels, or we can go onto those channels and see, this is not the life experience I want here. And I've got to back it out, change the channel, make another selection, choose again, choose again, choose again. Choose again. And we naturally at times will fall into the temptations of pain, suffering, feeling sorry for ourselves, mad, angry, frustrated, irritated. It's going to happen. It's part of our wiring. It's part of the inertia of creation, of the 2,000 years of creation. And there's a secret to this, if you will, of all of these options, is to see what kind of payoff we're getting from them. What kind of inner satisfaction, even though it's painful. We call it our comfort zone. It's like, well, it's not comfortable, but we're still bound in it somehow, because that becomes the allure of the mind. So it's like, then pray, lead me not into the temptation of the mind. Deliver me from the concepts. Deliver me from the belief system. Deliver me from the BS belief systems. Because the more and more that those payoffs are refused, the more and more those payoffs are turned away from, we can then discover at all times behind that thought screen, there is a silent, invisible, thought-free space. Behind the screen is the still point, the point of nothingness that belongs entirely to divinity, that belongs entirely to Creator, belongs entirely to God. And if we practice choosing, taking that screen down, look behind that screen, then we have more and more access to that free space, more liberated space. This is an option that is always available, however often out of sight. Always available, but often out of our sight. So it's going to take some practice to purposely take it down, look behind the screen, see what is true, what is actual, factual, and what is truth with a capital T. There's two obstacles usually: the ignorance that it's always available and present, or our denying of it, or two, valuing something other than peace. valuing something other than peace because of those payoffs. So when we value peace more than anything else, it's always available and present to us. And the more we value peace, the more we're going to seek and find. That's from The Eye of the I, Dr. David Hawkins. And the topic of that dissertation was nothing is hidden. Nothing is hidden. And then I got a quote from Nona Brooks I love from a book called Mysteries. And she says this: divine science is revealing to us two things. First, that healing is not a physical process. Healing is not a physical process, but a spiritual realization. That's one. Healing is not a physical process, but a spiritual realization. Second, health is not a condition of physical well-being only, but the realization of a state of wholeness in the individual. A transformation of healing, a transformational legacy of teaching. That healing is not a physical process, but a spiritual realization that health is not a condition of the physical well-being only, but a realization of a state of wholeness, Alpha and Omega in the individual. So then healing is the turning from the beliefs, turning from the dis-ease feelings to the realization of God's presence, God's perfection, God's perfect activity. God as health is health, not has health, not doles out health, but is health, is of health. And then to the basis of many, many references to the legacy of transformation from this Miss Nona Brooks and Miss Myrtle Fillmore. Since God is health and God is omnipresent, what is there to be healed? Since God is health and God is omnipresent, what is there to be healed? There is only one condition to be healed: misconceptions. Misconceptions. So what misconceptions are you willing to look at? What misconceptions, what false ideas, what fantasies, what myths are you willing to take down today in the name of leaving a legacy of transformation to you and yours? And all your family, your children, grandchildren, your ministries, your businesses, your practices, your whatever you've got, your life, that you wanted to say something different on your headstone than something killed her or something killed him, versus no, life had its perfect way there. To change environment or outer conditions, we do not have to work directly with them, but with our thinking about the conditions. So this is my very favorite quote so far from Myrtle Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity. God is giving you the needed wisdom and poise and love and sustenance to meet all the requirements. God is given and has given and will give you, me, all the needed wisdom, poise, love, sustenance to meet all the requirements. Your part, you, yes, you, your part, my part, is to believe this, is to trust this, and then to keep busy, to be busy with the things that are ours to do, to keep busy with the things that are yours to do. Freer, without anxiety, without concern about what others are doing. Without reference, without anxiety, without concern, without judgment about what others are doing. It's their business. Their business, my business. Their life and living, my life and living. The only one I'm going to ever be able to live. And then if I'm over there in their business, if you're over there in their business, there's no one here in the life that you have or the life that I have. Trust God to prompt others to do what's theirs to do. Trust God is prompting you, prompting me. So then my very favorite part, get busy using the truth that you know. Get busy using this truth that you know, not touting it, not quoting it, but applying it, using it, discovering it, lifting it up, expanding it, and expanding your own consciousness, your own transformation of consciousness, your own capacity, my capacity to transform the mind, to transform consciousness, and to transform the heart with new perspectives. From Myrtle Fillmore, get busy using the truth you know. Bring forth your own joyous world, your own world of love, of beauty, of plenty, of friendship, of whatever. And then from Martha, whatever makes your tail wag, whatever you're going to feel good about when you get at the end of your life and look back, to be really glad you did, to see what's written on your headstone was something you wanted written on your headstone, and that we're writing that today. You're writing that message today by the way you live the message today. And back to Myrtle Fillmore. There is within you this God-given intelligence to build such a world. Get at it. Get at it, Martha. Get at it, you. Get at it, you and you and you and you and you. Get at it for your own sake, for your own integrity, for your own atonement, your own salvation, your own alignment, your own awakening. Get at it. I send you great, infinite blessings, eternal blessings of love. So I know who I am. I know who you are. I know what I am. I know what you are. I know how I serve. I know how you serve. I am here, I am here, I am here. You are here, you are here, you are here. We give great thanks.
As we enter this time of meditation, I invite you to become still. I invite you to take your favorite meditation posture and let the music of Narayan and Janet enter your heart. Fill your heart as we now center within.
invite you to shift your attention to the breath. And further into the breath, an awareness of being breathed. And observing the natural flow of the breath at whatever pace and whatever depth. Having its own life and its own living, its own being. As we begin this time of inner wonder through the powers and faculties that we have as human beings, we activate them now. Imagination, and get a sense of your determination today, your will and zeal and enthusiasm and faith, your power, your understanding of the choice that you can make this very moment to be different, to stay in freedom, staying in freedom. Regardless of what happens, regardless of what they say, regardless of what they do or don't do. Get a sense of staying freedom. Staying with breath. And imagine you living the peace that passes understanding, a peace that cannot be understood by others, a peace that until this morning you only read about and sung about. Imagine now that is true for you, that it's no longer a theory, no longer a possibility, just a potential. No, a realization, an embodiment, staying freedom, being peace. And living differently in the world. I invite you to a big deep breath and an exhale out through the crown of your head. Imagine that crown open, expansive, open at the top, receptive to a transformation this morning, a transformation in your being, a transformation in a mood, in an attitude, in an old pattern, a transformation of thinking, a renewal of your own mind, a new vitality in your spirit. Imagine you with your tail wagging, just a hair more willing, looking forward to, equipped by the source of all that is. Imagine your life. Watch your life like on a movie screen and see, how would you be different? How would you be different if peace could not be disturbed on solid ground? And a vast experience of the presence of breath, of source, the creator of life. I am an infinite, eternal being. Would you say that silently or aloud? I'm an infinite, eternal being, proceeding even more deeply into the awareness of God, God's presence, and God is source. And now take a long, long, deep inhalation, deep breath in, deep breath in, deep, deep, deep breath in. And exhale. And another breath in, long and deep. The deepest breath ever you've taken. Deep, 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 deep. Bring all the breath in, and this time hold the breath. And will yourself to hold the breath. Control the breath. And notice you cannot control it. That for the power and the peace is in the breath. And our role is to give space, to make room for it. And to surrender any notion or false idea that we are in control. Being breathed, being lived, knowing that we are one with Spirit. We continue our spiritual journey knowing that wherever we are, God is. We thank you for this time of realization, this atonement, this new awareness, this transformation. And we say thank you. And we begin again today. And so it is.
Ah, there you are. It is time in our service to pause and give thanks for our prosperity and our abundance. As we start the year of 2021, we are given another opportunity to enter that divine flow of giving and receiving. And so we joyfully state together, God's love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. I am grateful.
I just wanna thank you for all you bring to me. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free. I just wanna thank you for all you bring to me. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free. I just wanna thank you for all you bring to me. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free.
A brand new year to give thanks for that constant flow of abundant good that comes into our lives every single day. And so, again, we joyfully state, the inexhaustible resource of spirit is equal to every demand. There is no reality in lack. Our abundance is here and now manifest. And so it is. Please join me now in the singing of our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Now peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment, live each moment, peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Words to live by in this new year of 2021. And as we go about our day, we are so blessed to know together the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. We are one holy family. We celebrate our oneness and honor our diversity. So our closing affirmation today relates to what a Unity Truth student is all about. As a Unity Truth student, I am ever growing, ever learning, ever transforming. And so in this year of 2021, the closing affirmation that I am going to be using is I choose transformation. Let's say that together. I choose transformation. And so it is. Amen. And as we end our time together on this beautiful Sunday morning, I would like to give thanks to Reverend Martha Creek for joining us today. Thank you so much, Reverend Creek, for your wonderful message and meditation. And as we conclude our service, I would like to start the waving of the hellos. So, hi everybody.
Happy New Year to all our Unity friends and family. Happy 2021. We hope to see you soon.
Happy New Year. Stay safe, take care, and let's hope for a good new year.
In a happy mood, feeling gratitude. Thank you, thank you.
Gratitude is my name, feeling grateful is my game. Thank you, thank you.
When I lift my head up, stop complaining.
I see everything through gratitude-colored glasses, and we're all in this great big sea of bliss. Thank you,
Thank you,
thank you.
thank you.
Wave. Oh, tell me about it.
Say hi everybody.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
How are you? I'm fine.
We miss you.
Miss
We
you.
miss you.
Miss you.
We think about you.
Think about you.
We hold you in our
Watch
hearts.
you in my hearts.
And we'll see you soon.
I miss you soon.
See you soon.
I miss you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Guys.
Mwah.
Mwah.
I'm in a happy mood, feeling gratitude.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Gratitude is my name. Feeling grateful is my game. Thank you.
Thank you.
When I lift my head up and stop complaining,
I feel everything through gratitude-colored glasses, and we're all in this great big sea of bliss. Thank you.
well, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
In a happy mood, feeling gratitude. Thank you, thank you.
Gratitude is my name, feeling grateful is my game. Thank you. Thank you.
When I lift my head up, stop complaining.
I see everything through gratitude-colored glasses, and we're all in this great big sea of bliss.